Good morning, my friends. This is the Grim Flayer. Hope you're all doing very well on this fine day, and I hope you are ready to take a trip to Frogtown with me. That's right, we are playing a Golgari Value Town deck in Modern featuring the Gitrog monster and built around Heartless Summoning. Heartless Summoning is a 2-mana enchantment, 1 generic, 1 black. Creature spells you cast cost 2 generic, less to cast, and creatures you control get -1/-1. So the idea is that we've got a lot of really value-oriented bombs in the top end of our deck. 17 of them to be exact over here, and they do a variety of really good things if you can get them out ahead of curve on the back of Heartless Summoning, and that's the idea. So this is a donation league, of course. It is an off-meta deck, but it did 5-0 very recently. I say very recently. In the context of an archetype like this, it was pretty recent, maybe a month and a half ago or so, I believe sometime in February. A list very, very similar to this one, 5-0'd. The only difference is that it played 3 copies of Once Upon a Time, which of course is no longer legal, so we made a couple changes to accommodate for that. And I will go into that with a deck tech right now. We just have to thank the supporters of this league. So we have John Westoff, who provided the list and whose donation league this is, but the donation league itself was funded by confidant supporter Doll of Cootie. So the story here is that Doll and I were in talks because, as a confidant for a long time, qualified for a donation league, right? And, he was going back and forth. I think he said, well, let me get back to you. And then he did get back to me and said, look, I'm really busy. I kind of, am cool with whatever content gets put out on their channel for the most part. So why don't you give this list to somebody who is a supporter, but maybe is not going to be able to qualify for a donation league anytime soon, especially if they've been impacted economically by the pandemic, right? So I thought that was really generous, a really cool idea from Doll of Cootie. So I promptly went over to Discord and made an announcement where I tagged everybody, and John Westoff, Inquisitor tier supporter, was quickest on the draw. So this is a list, again, provided by John and funded by Doll. So thank you so much, both of you. I do appreciate it. Really cool story, and really cool, again, of Doll of Cootie. Very fun idea, very generous. Generated some hype in the Discord. So yeah, let's look at the deck. So again, Heartless Summoning is the key card here, and to understand why it would be worth, playing this 2-mana, no card advantage debuff, we need to look at the top end first. Tireless Tracker. Imagine going turn 2 Heartless Summoning and starting off turn 3 by playing a 1-mana tracker into a fetch land, making 2 clues, and then potentially playing 2 more 3-drops that turn, at least, right? This deck can really go off in a very Value Town sort of way on the back of Heartless Summoning. So keep that in mind as we look at these cards. But 4 Tireless Tracker, 3 Wayward Soretooth, which is a big beater and lets you ramp by playing an additional land on each of your turns. Ramanop Excavator, also a 3 of, very, very nice to play land cards from the graveyard in this deck in conjunction with, it has so much synergy with so many cards in the deck, and is like a pretty reasonable Value Town card, kind of in its own right. You always want to build around it a little bit if it's around, but definitely a very, very strong card in this shell. 2 copies of Oracle of Moldiah, which is both the ramp and card advantage, and Vizier of the Menagerie, which is kind of an Oracle of Moldiah, but for creatures, only as a 1-of. So again, another potential source of card advantage. At the top end, we have 2 copies of the namesake frog himself, the Gitrog monster, who is just an insane advantage engine. You're having to sacrifice lands to its upkeep trigger, but then you're getting to play an additional lands per turn, and every time a land card goes to the graveyard from anywhere you draw a card, it's a 6/6 death touch. It is just a Value Town engine like no other. And finally, at the top end, we have Obnixilis the Fallen as a 2-of, Gitrog also a 2-of, and Obnixilis is just a finisher, just a really strong finisher. Gives you a different dimension by having a life loss related landfall trigger, and of course gets gigantic in his own right. Very, very scary guy. And yeah, that's kind of the top end Value Town package again. The only reason any of this stuff is particularly playable is because we hope to get it out ahead of curve with Heartless Summoning. But what does the rest of the deck look like? Well, as I mentioned, it used to be 3 copies of Once Upon a Time in the 5-0 list, but that is no longer with us. So John had 2 ideas. He said you could... His specific idea was either play more Fatal Pushes to replace the Once Upon a Time, get more interactive, or play 3 copies of Commune with the Gods, which I believe is 2 mana, look at the top 5, take a creature or enchantment. My instinct said, let's play more interaction, but I didn't just play more Fatal Pushes. I added 1 Fatal Push to bring it up to 2. I added 1 Thoughtseize to bring it up to 6 total discard spells, 3 Inquisition, 3 Thoughtseize, and I added 1 Assassin's Trophy for a total of 3. I just decided to lean a little bit more into the interaction. Commune with the Gods just seems like a card that is not strong enough for Modern, and I think I would rather try to delay the opponent and then have my Value Town plan maybe be a little bit slower than I would be to, tap out turn 2 for a Commune, try to dig for a Heartless Summoning, try to go off from there. I'm just saying we want to keep a lot of hands with Heartless Summoning in them. We want to resolve at T2. But if we can't, I think I'd rather be interacting than digging. But I could be wrong. That was just my instinct. I made this first draft of the list, sent it to John. He said, great, looks good to me. Also, we have 4 copies of Gilded Goose, which is kind of... It's not a replacement for Heartless Summoning at all, but it is a mana dork that can be part of a Value Town plan simply by gaining you life and making food tokens as the game goes on, and also does not die to Heartless Summoning. So this can be a one-shot, way to get one of these top-end cards out ahead of curve, whether or not you have Heartless Summoning involved, right? We have 24 lands in the land base, a ton of basic lands, because there are many times where we'll be repeatedly fetching by playing fetch lands out of the graveyard with Ramanop Excavator, for instance, so you want a really high number of basics. But we have 7 fetch lands, 9 basic lands, 2 Overgrown Tombs, and for utility, we have 2 copies of Nurturing Peatland, very good with Excavator, 3 copies of Ghost Quarter, very good with Excavator, and another thing that's good with Excavator, 1 Grasping Dunes. We have it's a wastes that you can tap 1 mana and sack it to give a creature a -1/-1 counter at sorcery speed. Again, some nice repeated removal for weenies, or even just a repeated debuff by way of Excavator, if we have the luxury of repeatedly doing it, which in this deck, if you're going off, you often will. Moving on to the sideboard, so the 5-0 list that John gave to me, that we needed to tweak a little bit, had a couple more pieces of generic interaction in the sideboard than you're seeing here. I think a Thoughtseize and a Trophy and maybe one other thing were in the sideboard that I didn't feel we needed because, of course, we moved some of those cards main deck to replace the Once Upon a Times. So to that end, I have added a second Choke. I have replaced the sideboard Trophy with an Abrupt Decay, just to diversify that a little bit. Again, we've already got 3 trophies main deck. And I added a Shadow Spear, which seemed like it would be pretty good with some of our large-bodied creatures, and also just gives us another piece of anti-red deck wins tech, anti-aggro tech. It comes in against Bogles if you happen to run into that horrible deck. On and on and on. So there you go. But the rest of the sideboard, including some of these unusual one-ofs, is taken from the 5-0 list, so they were on a Lost Legacy. I'll play it. I don't know exactly why they opted for this over other options, but I will play it. And then you've got a Doomweight Giant, which is another... These are all kind of Value Town cards that you only really see as playable because we're ramping them up. But Doomweight Giant is a 4/6 that's going to wipe X1s when it enters the battlefield. Whisperwood Elemental is a really nice grindy card that manifests the top end of the library at the beginning of your end step every turn, and then you can sacrifice it to basically have nice anti-board wipe technology. And then Acidic Slime is a 2/2 Death Touch with a really strong ETB trigger that destroys an artifact, an enchantment, or a land. Rounding out are some more BGX staples, another Push, a couple Brutality, an EE, a Grafdigger's Cage, and 2 copies of Nile Spellbomb. So, once again, thank you so much to Doll of Kuti for funding this league and for generously offering it up to the community, to somebody who could not necessarily otherwise afford it anytime soon. And thank you to John Westhoff for being a really great supporter, really fun guy, for being quickest on the draw to answer the call for this free donation league, basically, and for providing us with a really spicy deck. I gotta tell a quick story about John as we're finding our first opponent here for the league. I was on the Facebook group for Green Black Rock, and John made a post kind of memeing on me. This was a long time ago, but I remember it well. And it was after one of my Rock leagues, and he was saying, Grimflayer deciding what to sideboard in every single matchup, and then he posted a meme, why not Fulminator Mage? Something like that. And then somebody else chimed in and said, well, yes, that and Plague Engineer too. I then went to mtgcardsmith.com, made up a custom card called Plague Fulminator. That's basically exactly what you think it is. It's both Plague Engineer and Fulminator Mage rolled into one. And, of course, the flavor text was good afternoon, my friends. I posted it. People got a laugh out of it. And John and I were bantering back and forth. And literally in the middle of our banter, he signed up for Patreon as an Inquisitor. So I'll always remember that. I really got a kick out of that interaction. So thank you much, John. And thank you again, Doll of Cootie. And we are in our game. Finally, we have a new Patreon supporter to thank, a very generous one at the tire list here. Hope I get your name correct, my friend, Johanna Lemos. I do appreciate you very, very much. We're keeping this very interesting opening hand, I guess. And thank you, as always, to all Patreon supporters. Johanna is somebody who reached out to me on Discord and said, hey, I will see you soon on Patreon. And I said, sounds good to me, my friend. And then, sure enough, true to their word, there they are. So thank you very, very much. And we are against a Serum Visions Dark Slick Shores deck. Is this Ad Nauseam? I'm not entirely sure, but given our 3 copies of Thoughtseize, I think we should lead on one. Even though in some ways it would be better to play the Dork, we should start ripping up the hand ASAP, right? At least we're not against burn with a hand like this, and indeed it is Ad Nauseam, and they've got a very, very poor hand. So, they did put something on the top that's gotta be a land. Given they're put on the top of land, the only problem is their hand is pretty Thoughtseize proof. I guess we just start taking away the Ad Nauseams. But they're pretty far away from casting them, but yeah, let's take away the Ad Nauses. We're obviously playing for the long game here. And we know that this turn we have perfect information, so we just get to go double Gilded Goose here. Ooh, opponent found a Lotus Bloom. Okay. Still know their whole hand. Ooh, Tireless Tracker. I like that just fine. So let's play her. And we're going to play a land. Yeah, then we'll Thoughtseize. Take away the other Ad Naus. I think that's all I'm going to do for now. Alright, we still know the opponent's whole hand. Draw of a land is just fine here. I'm going to begin by cracking a clue. Well, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we play the Sword Tooth now, it will get the City's Blessing. Guess that's probably correct. And that blessing is permanent. Then we'll crack a clue looking for another land. We don't hit it. That's all right. We're starting the beats. All right, so we are going off. We are going off on game 1. It's not a match where we really need the value, and we haven't gone off with Heartless Summoning, but it's still pretty good. All right, so we've drawn a fetch land, which seems great. Not quite enough to force an Angel's Grace this turn. I don't think playing the other tracker is necessary. I think I would rather make my clues than crack a clue. I mean, like, trying to find another discard spell is pretty live here, for example. Ramanop Excavator, eh? I think we're just cracking clues than thought seizing. Alright, so we gotta fade them top decking another Ad Nauseam. It'd be a little absurd if they did, right? Oh my god, they did? Really? You gotta be kidding me. Alright, well, there's literally... Yeah, they've got 2 cards to do that out of 40-something. Unbelievable, guys. I mean... Oh, man. How is this even allowed? This is just how my variance has been lately. I'm trying to bring you guys, you know, whatever you want to see, whatever the donors say, and whether it's something stock or something spicy. Oftentimes. Just like, well, you know, they've got a 3% chance to top deck anything that matters here, and boom, there they do. Okay, well... Cool. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I hope that's not what we're in for the rest of the league. We were doing so well. We were doing so well with the Value Town plan in a relatively quick clock, but okay. So, EE, I think, is actually worth considering here. It can hit Lotus Bloom during their upkeep before, for example, if we had an EE on 0 there, we could have used it on their upkeep before they went to their draw step and drew the Ad Nauseam. I don't know. I mean, it's going to hit a lot of our own stuff, including clues and food. Even in that role, I don't know how good it is, but it's worth considering. Decay we definitely want. I guess Acidic Slime could be good. Yeah, Acidic Slime is good, actually. Lost Legacy for Ad Nauseam seems pretty good. Collective Brutality seems pretty good as well. So 5 rising to 6, we can cut these pushes. I'm a little worried about Leyline of Sanctity. A lot of things target, including Lost Legacy and Collective Brutality, plus Obnixilis and all of our discard. I don't really think we should, like, not play good cards in case they have Leyline, though, you know what I mean? Alright, I'm thinking we might not have room for EE. We're going to be at 63 cards after cutting pushes. Yeah. Alright, I guess we're supposed to just kind of trim along the edges here. I think actually cutting like 1 Excavator, 1 Tracker, and 1 Vizier is what I want to do. I want to lean a little bit more into the ramp than the creature card advantage, or the card advantage in general. You saw there we had all the value in the world, but it doesn't save us from them having the perfect top deck. So obviously, I'm no expert with this deck. It is a Fringe archetype, and it's my first time playing it. I did go 4-0 in the tournament practice lobby, including beating Bant Snow last night to get a few reps in, but I've certainly never played a league with it before. Okay, we have Goose into Excavator. I think that's good enough. We can repeatedly loop Ghost Quarter. They should probably only play 2 basics. Seems pretty good. Opponent keeping 7. But no Leyline. Leading on a City of Brass. Going 1 top, 1 bot. Alright. Time to ramp out the Ramanop, I guess. And then we can even... Oh, they play a basic planes too, so our GQ is just gonna totally hose them, you imagine. What's double white? Is this like Grand Abolisher or something? Maybe that's not it, but... Oh, Pentad Prism for 1? What? Why not make it for 2? We've drawn Inquisition. I was just going to say that we can just GQ and then Trophy and just really destroy the lands. That might be better than Inquisition still. Alright, send in the Naga. I'm just tanking over this decision whether to Trophy or whether to GQ. I think I'm going all in on the land destruction plan here. So I'm going to begin with a Trophy. Plays around permission, better to do this first. Our GQ in the island. Ad Nauseam, last I knew, only plays 2 basic lands, usually. And sure enough, that's the case. Okay, so we've got repeated Wasteland loop incoming. And the reason I wanted to aggressively do that is because the Inquisition's just going to obviously continue to be alive as they have land issues. They have to spend their Pentad Prism for that. Yeah, seems good. Get our GQ back. That's the concession. Alright, cool. Well, not a very fair way to win a game, is it? But we'll take it. It wasn't a very fair way to lose game 1, so I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. So we're giving the opponent a lot to think about here. We've showed them that we can rip their hand to shreds. We've showed them that we can go really far over the top in terms of value, and we've shown them that we can just GQ loop them out of the game. So opponent might be sweating it out a little bit. Most of their lands, for anyone wondering why I didn't bring in Choke, are not islands. They do play a basic island, but otherwise the blue lands are mostly fast lands and temples, neither of which have the island type. On the draw, I'm a little more interested in this EE. Is there anything that gets notably worse for us here on the draw in our deck? Should we just be cutting like another creature? I don't know what the right balance is here. I'm going to cut a Gitrog monster. I have no idea if that's correct, but we did bring in a top-end 5-drop with Slime, so let's keep our curve the same as it is main deck. I'm just deferring to the expertise of whoever built this, and yeah, I'm a little bit more worried about Lotus Bloom comboing off on us when we're on the draw, so EE is a hedge against that. Sometimes it'll be symmetrical, sometimes hitting their Pentad Prisms will be good, and also could be symmetrical too. Opponent keeping 7. Thoughtseize Decay Tracker with 4 lands is a pretty good hand. We'll keep it. No Leyline again. Good. Good. That was the one thing we were a little worried about. And we've drawn Inquisition. Lovely. Okay. Opponent has put a card on top off of that temple. They have Spoils of the Vault, which functions as a basic, usually another copy of Ad Nauseam. So I think we should probably take Angel's Grace. Alternatively, we could take Spoils and plan to Thoughtseize the Ad Naus next turn, and I think they probably put a land on top, but it could be a Lotus Bloom or a Pentad Prism. They probably put a Mana Source on top of some kind. I still think we're going to take Angel's Grace because Spoils is a very risky card to use and under a lot of circumstances. So it's just kind of in a vacuum a less powerful card, right? Sure enough, they did put a Temple of Enlightenment on top. And they scry to the bot. Ramanop Excavator. So no Heartless Summoning Scene yet. Okay, we're going to Thoughtseize away the Ad Naus. There you go. I think I had Heartless Summoning on turn 2 in almost all of my practice lobby games, which might have been why I went 4-0. Certainly, you can see how it would be really nice here. To untap, like if we had Summoning last turn, we could untap and go Tracker, make 2 clues, play an Excavator, Thoughtseize you on turn 3. Sadly, that's not it. That's not what we're doing. Okay. Excavator, go. Would love to find a Ghost Quarter. Oh my goodness. Simian Spirit Guides. What did they find? Are they... They're casting an Ad Nauseam for value. So they did find another Ad Naus. Man, they're really good at top decking that card. Alright, so those cards are out of the hand, and then they're getting all of these. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ad Naus for value at this stage of the game is really, really good, too. So they found another Ad Naus. So they have the combo in hand, but they're down to 3. They're down to 2. Did they forget about the City of Brass trigger? Because they are just dead on board. I guess they're going to need to use their Angel's Grace to stay alive. Man, if we still end up losing to this, I'm going to be a little tilted. Okay, so they're pitching a bunch of stuff. Island, Leyline, City, Coast, Shores, and Pentad Prism. So their hand is 2 Spoils of the Vault, a Plains, a Gemstone Mine, Veil of Summer, Phyrexian Unlife, Angel's Grace, Ad Nauseam. Hate to see it. Let's attack and force them to Grace. All right. So The problem for us is Veil of Summer, because that's going to allow them to combo over the course of 2 turns. They can play Phyrexian Unlife and then protect it with Veil. And then Ad Nauseam the following turn. So I don't really think we have much of a choice besides just going Tracker into lands here. Might as well play him out of the graveyard, but drawing the nth land of the game was not good for us. All right. Well, what are our best draws here? Stupid Veil of Summer, man. Stupid Veil of Summer. Obnixilis the Fallen. He targets. Ah. Well, did they play? They played Gemstone Mine turn 4. Is that correct? Just trying to figure out if they definitely have a 6th land in hand. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, I guess Obnixilis is not the right play. I guess the right play is probably to try to find another decay effect. Or a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition. I guess it'd have to be one of the latter because we only have 5 mana to operate with. Wayward Swordtooth. Alright, so you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life, but this will put them to 0 or less. So if we can destroy the Unlife, we win instantly. Oh, they've got Lotus Bloom coming off Suspend. Yeah, we just lose. Unbelievable. Unreal, guys. Well, you know, when the Ad Nauseam deck just top decks Ad Nauseam's Game 1 and Game 3 immediately after we deal with the ones in hand, there is just nothing you can do about it. You know, if they didn't have Thassa's Oracle in the deck, it's possible that we could still win. I guess we'll make them execute the combo here. It's possible that we could still win because Abrupt Decay killing Laboratory Maniac in response to them drawing on an empty library is a good way to do it. Guys, this feels bad. This feels bad because, like, our deck, our progression on average should be beating theirs. They literally just had the nuts top deck 2 games. And when we're playing an off-meta deck, you can't have such bad luck necessarily if you want to do well. Oh, what's happening to me lately? What's happening to us lately? Pretty unlucky. I think Ad Nauseam's a cool deck. I don't mind it at all, but it sucks to get nut drawn. Okay. Well, not off to a good start, but that's okay. We're having fun. And you saw that our value plan was really like a respectable enough clock. It's not that much slower of a clock than an average BG rock clock sometimes. And obviously, you know, turn 2 Tarmogoyf is the key to the clock usually with BG. And we'd have more copies of Disruption on BG, right? We'd have, you know, not that many more, though. Like, we'd probably have a Pulse. And Lilianas, of course, are a big deal. But Liliana's would not have made the difference in either of those losses. It was literally just they need to top deck ad nauseam, and they immediately do. So not a strike at all against the Frogtown plan. And we've got a very similar hand here where it's a lot of disruption. As we had in round 1, game 1, we will keep it. A lot of hand disruption to be exact. Yeah, I would have put us at about like 90% to win game 1 from the point they top decked ad nos, and about 80% to win game 3 from their top deck of the value ad nos. Okay, Monastery Swift Spear off of Fiery Islet. Looks like mono red Prowess. Really wish one of these discard spells was a Fatal Push. Ask and you shall receive. Nice draw. Nice draw. We're going to shock in and we're going to pass. Clearly we're representing push, but it is nevertheless the correct sequencing. Opponent Lava Spiking us. Into light up the stage, probably. Sure enough. Well, a really good start from the opponent. And they light up into Land Crash Through, which is a Prowess player I can tell you is probably just about exactly what they want to see on going into turn 3. But we'll begin with an Inquisition, see what they're working with, and then decide what to do from there. Another light up, a Bolt, and a Spike. Well, we're going to delay the Goose Plan, and we're just going to take away the light up and the Lightning Bolt, I suppose. Very thankful that we have all of these discard spells, and we drew a Fatal Push. So their floor of the turn is Land Crash Through, Lava Spike us. They have found Monomorphose. Scary. Scary, scary stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Lava Spike, Lava Dart. Okay. Bedlam Reveler is about to be online. Are we supposed to Thoughtseize in case their last card in hand is Rev? I think the answer is yes. We simply can't beat a Rev. Obviously, losing the 2 life is not free, but most of the cards in their hand represent more than 2 damage, except unless it's a land. So we are going to Thoughtseize. Oh, it's a land. Ah, we're just getting punished left, right, and center for decisions that are correct. That one was not like empirically 100% correct, but on average, they're way likelier to have a non-land than a land. And they top deck Crash Through. They find Runaway Steamkin. And we just find a land. It's not good, guys. None of it's good. We're on the ropes. I think Runaway Steamkin is the weakest variant of Prowess, personally, but I think it's playable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're wrong for playing Steamkin strictly, but I think it is a step below the Kiln Fiend for racing and a step below the Bauble Reveler build for grinding. Not that they don't have Revelers, but the Bauble build tends to play 4 Bedlam Reveler. Okay, opponent cantripping into a Monomorphose. We are holding up Clue via the food. Opponent letting the mana expire, but then attacking. So they have Lava Dart to grow the Steamkin. I think we're supposed to block and take this trade. The only reason I'm considering not doing it is because we have a brick in hand otherwise, you know? Without the tracker to turn it into gold. Nevertheless, we're at 7. I don't think we can take the hit. Yep. Burst Lightning the Goose. Jeez. It's a really nice last card for them to have just found. So we're just going to be mana efficient by using the Goose to crack the clue right now, hoping that the 2 draws we're seeing let us take over this game now that the dust will have settled. The opponent's in total top deck mode. This trade's going to go down. And we found an Excavator. And the only resource the opponent has is a Lava Dart in the graveyard. And we find a Goose. Sure. I'll play the Marsh Flats from the graveyard, but probably plan not to fetch with it, but it's just kind of cute to conceal info and still make our land drop that way. Might still be correct to just get the forest down, though. Opponent finds a Swifty. It's actually a very good draw. Is there only one Lava Dart? What am I missing here? Well, no, they can still beat the Excavator. All right. We're going to go to 4 if we don't throw the Excavator under the bus. I think we're going to make them do this. I think doing this on our terms is a little bit better than just taking the hit going to 4. It's not like they're without the ability to top deck cards that do exactly this next turn, right? Okay, we found Gitrog Monster. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, not gonna lie. And that rewards us for that decision. To block with the Excavator. All right. Think I'm valuing the 1 life enough to just sacrifice the flats instead of fetching with it, even though fetching is nice value. We found 2 trackers. All right, a bit punished. Perhaps. Just going to play tracker and say go. Shouldn't really be able to lose from here if we just play cautiously unless they totally nut draw, like, right now. Making food, sacking food. For life, it's a lot of inevitability that we have. So I think we're going to make a food token right now with the Goose with this Gitrog trigger on the stack. And then we're going to sack one of the tapped lands. Hoping to draw lands here, basically. We don't, but we draw Heartless Summoning. Yeah, summoning into Tracker seems fine. Continuing to play just ultra defensively. It's not my preference here. I wish we were drawing lands so we could just go off. Really unusual to have missed lands off of like the last 4 draw steps. But it's still pretty sweet, right? Still pretty sweet. Alright, opponent can do a lot of work here with a Lava Dart, for example. If we had had a more balanced set of cards on the top deck after we found Gitrog, I think we would be 100% to win from here. Virtually. But the awkwardness of, like, losing lands, like... I'm just going to throw a tracker in front of it. I'm not ready for the Gitrog trade yet. Like, Ramanop Excavator would be amazing. Just land drop would be amazing. Gotta give me something to work with here, deck. You can do it, you can do it. Lava Dart. Oh, Lava Dart. So bad. So bad. Just cleaning up our entire board, huh? Alright, cool. I didn't mean to auto-yield to that. Just gonna lose a forest here. There we go, Ramanop Excavator. That's the one. Ramanop. Into forest. Into Oracle. Into card advantage with lands off the top. I'll do it twice. Why not? I'll lose a life here to draw a card with Gitrog. Think I'm going to do it again. Planning to crack food this turn, of course. And if our creatures survive, which I don't necessarily expect them to, we can maybe have a repeated Grasping Dunes turn. Okay, opponent just passing. Gain 3 life off the food. The Gitrog demands his sacrifice. Okay, so we have Trophy Gilded Goose. So how do we want to sequence? I think I'm going to try to kill their Swifty with Grasping Dunes. I don't know how correct it is, but seems fun. We can, of course, just repeatedly do it here. Drawing a million cards, we can take a mana off to play Tracker here. They're in a Bolt and Mold Dia in response. Okay, makes sense. So let's get our 1 mana Tracker down. Then let's replay the Dunes off of Gitrog's ability. And let's finish off the Swifty. She won't die right now because of the Prowess, but she will die next turn. Let's play a Gilded Goose. And send in the Rog. As a free block for the opponent, we might have sequenced a little bit differently with that in mind. You know, maybe attacked first. Probably would have been better. I'm going to leave the corner case lines like that on the table a lot probably today. Jeez, opponent drawn another Lava Dart. It's pretty perfect for them in terms of taking care of our board. Shouldn't matter at this stage, though. But yeah, they're drawing a whole lot of X for ones, basically. Might not be necessary, but I'm going to crack a clue. And then sack to the Rog, and we have drawn a lot of decent action. Play a Goose. Get our Grasping Dunes back. Get a Swamp back, send him in. We're holding up 2 food activations and a Fatal Push. I should say 1 in 1. Lava Dart the Goose. All the Lava Darts. You got it. Could maybe have made a food token with the Goose before biting it. Might have been better than just gaining 6 life here, but it is all good. Might as well play out another Heartless Summoning here. Oh no, that was bad. That actually shrunk my beaters. I'm sorry, that was a mistake. I was thinking that was a free roll. I forgot these debuffs stacked. Yikes, that's actually pretty bad. That's actually was a pretty bad play. Again, shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. I'm glad we did it when it didn't matter though, right? I'm not going to play the third Heartless Summoning, that I can tell you. I could be sequencing a wide variety of different ways. I could be like fetching more aggressively to get more cards off of Gitrog, but it simply, once again, does not matter in the least. I don't want to tank too much over decisions that are inconsequential like that. I think there's going to be probably enough tough decisions in this league, and I think it's just better content when we have, like, no matter how we sequence, we're going to win here, to just do it. OP lava darting the Gitrog before lethal to send a message. I respect that. Okay, well, that was cool. That was cool. Gotta remember, don't play the second Heartless Summoning unless you're in a really weird spot. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. Honestly, the deck feels pretty good so far, wouldn't you say? So I think Nile Spellbomb is reasonable. EE, Shadow Spear, Decay, Brutality, and Push are all very good. Honestly, some of these cards might not be bad either, but we're going to have enough to do. I'm going to cut 2 Thought Seizes, possibly the third. I usually leave in 1 copy of Thought Seize, when I'm on strict BGX. Here, I don't know if we are, like, maybe we're more able to contend with the Resolved Bedlam Reveler with our insane amount of value, so maybe I should just cut all the Thought Seizes. I don't know. Beyond that, what are our worst remaining cards? What do we like the least against this deck? Once again, I think cutting a tracker is fine. At toughness 2, she's a little more vulnerable than most things. Oracle of Moldaya, probably the same story. I'm going to get all these cards in. Why don't we play like a Spellbomb and cut the Thoughtseize? Possibly 2 Spellbombs. That's our way to compete over Bedlam Reveler and Lava Dart. Seems fine. We still have to make 3 cuts if we do it this way. I think I'm going to cut probably both Oracles. I'm going to be more inclined to trim around the edges than to cut like both of something most times, but against Prowess, I think cutting both Oracles seems pretty good. We're bringing in so many cards that I actually am tempted to cut so many sideboard cards that are not creatures that I'm kind of tempted to cut a Heartless Summoning. That just might be wrong, though. Might be always wrong to do that. I think I'm going to try it on the draw. We'll see. And then I'm just going to cut either Ob or Gitrog. Okay. Might just be wrong to ever cut a single copy of Heartless Summoning from the deck, but I think if there is a time to do it, it would be on the draw against Mono Red Prowess if we have a whole lot of cards to bring in, which we do. So we shall see how it all pans out, my friends. Either way, it's very, very interesting kind of mental exercise to figure out what we're supposed to be doing here. This is like a mid-rangey, classic mid-rangey hand. I will keep it. Sadly, the GQ Ramanop loop, a whole lot less effective against the mono-red deck than it was against the 2 basic lands ad nauseam deck. However, it's still present. It's still there doing something. Alright, so opponent with a turn 1 creature, it's kind of what we didn't want to see. Keeping 7 with a T1 threat. Maybe they kept a 1-lander, that's kind of our potential saving grace here. Indeed they did. Well, well, well. We can capitalize on this pretty well right now. Fatal Push is a good draw too. So I think we're just going to fully escalating, pitching our utility lands, and then planning to get them back eventually with Excavator. Okay. They have 2 more threats. 2 Burst Lightnings, a Lightning Bolt, and a Saheeli. Easy take a Bolt. Scary hand, but a slow one. I was going to say, unless they draw the second land, which they instantaneously do, a little bit rough, a little bit rough. Alright, now I think we are supposed to play a land and pass, holding up Push, and potentially Trophy. The reason we'd want to hold up Trophy is if they make the natural 3rd land drop, Trophying Saheeli becomes pretty good. Also, this guarantees us at least a piece of value off of Excavator, since we're not playing him on curve. We'll play him next turn. They hit the 3rd land. So in a way, that's really good for them, but in a way, it also kind of plays into our hands. So we'll push 1. Yeah, we've got a Trophy Saheeli, right? These 1/1s are going to be pretty good against us, I think. Alright, I'd love to draw another Fatal Push here. Or Inquisition would be fine. We've drawn Wayward Swordtooth. I think we play the excavator. Buying that back the peatland might price them into double bursting the excavator because I'm sure they don't want us to loot peatland. I don't know if that'd actually be good or bad for us, right? I really can't tell. It could go either way. I think I'm going to do it. I mean, they can identify the potential for that loop even if we don't choose to buy that back this turn. So, opponent's drawn a land for a turn. We'll see what they do here. I'm not blocking. We'll see if they just shove all in with these burst lightnings. If so... Okay, there's one of them. Yeah, the kicker's pretty rough, but that made their land drop pretty good there. Okay, we're just kind of flooding here. So we gotta crack a peatland, and we draw another land, really? Man. Okay, we're getting pretty punished for this. I mean, it's just flood. It's just flood. Alright, let's buy back the GQ. Play the Sword Tooth. Buy back the peatland and say go, but now we probably have to chump with the excavator this turn. I mean, what is that, like 4 bricks in a row off the top, 4 just lands? You can't have that when you're in both in top deck mode. So if we don't block, I mean, they could have drawn a lightning bolt. Could have drawn a lava dart. They could have drawn a lot of things. But assuming they have just a mountain in hand, I mean, going to 3, we can't go to 3. I guess we got to block and force them to do something here. Feels real bad. Okay. So we survived because all they had to do was burst lightning. Cool. We find another wayward sword tooth, eh? One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not quite enough for the... Not quite enough for the... what's it called? City's Blessing. Or is it? Yes, it is, right? Sword tooth plus... Yeah, okay. Counting is hard. Counting is hard. There it is. We have the blessing. We just ship in with a single 5/5. I should, though, have cracked peatland before deciding to do something else here. Definitely. Definitely should have. I just got excited about our winning magic number of 10, right? Should we just be gaining the 3 life right now? I think so. I think that's a little bit safer than the alternative of letting them untap. So we really only gained 2 life because we had to fetch to do that, but seems pretty decent. Okay, so we've just got some 5/5s on the field now. Pretty good. Looping the peatland with excavator. making 3 land drops per turn, and making a food token every turn if we have the mana to do it all. Never mind, they're going to Burst Lightning the Goose. That's pretty much a necessary play. And then they pass. We find another Excavator. Alright. Let's begin with the Peatland loop here, I suppose. Play it from the graveyard, crack it. Collective Brutality seems good. Play it from the graveyard, crack it again. Ghost Quarter. Okay. I'm gonna crack it again. Gonna crack it a 3rd time here. Heartless Summoning. I don't think I want to cast that this turn. We might not even necessarily want to cast it at all. Brutality could get blown out pretty hard here if they're holding up a reactive spell. But I still think it's probably correct to escalate with all 3 modes. Just so we're operating with perfect information. And if they don't have a spell, we just win. Virtually. Yeah, they got something. They're going to Burst Lightning. Okay, so at least we got a Burst Lightning out of their hand without them being able to kick it, so that's pretty good. I mean, if we ship all in, we force a chump block. Okay, now, even though it shrinks our guys, I do think we play the summoning after the fact because it lets us go off harder next turn. Remember, we're still looping peatlands. Shouldn't be able to lose from here, whether we do or do not play that, though, unless they rip Bedlam Reveler off the top. Too late for Bolt. I'll say GG, well played. Yep, it was a little too late for Bolt. Opponent bolts themselves, very noble. Very cool, I like it, I like it. And that is the concession. Well, we're taking down Prowess 2-0. And that was pretty cool. I think our deck was, again, kind of had earned the win against Ad Nauseam. We just got super out top decked by the namesake card. However, guys, you saw that we were in pole position to win that one, and you saw that we did 2-0 a tier 1 modern deck with Frogtown. So, hey, so far so good. I'm having fun. This is a deck that might be a little bit tilting to play against if you're on an opposing fair deck. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That's part of the reason I'm not tanking too hard over decisions where we're way far ahead in the driver's seat, like just don't want to make our opponent sit through it as we puzzle out the corner case little possible lines, right? But this deck's pretty fun to pilot when it's going off, I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's green and black. I like that. It's got interaction of the classic, BGX variety. I like that a lot. And it draws a million cards, and I do admit to loving that. So hey, we're having some fun. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well. One thing that I didn't mention that John mentioned is that he said Vizier of the Menagerie has not been great for him when he's played this. Feel free to replace it with something else. I didn't. I decided to try it as a one-of. We haven't seen it yet, but it's a pretty cool looking card. We'll see if we do manage to get there with it. Okay, so this hand, we're on the draw, It's pretty slow, right? It's pretty slow. I think we actually are supposed to mulligan this, even though it's a functional hand. We should have either Interaction or Heartless Summoning in our opener, I think. Or Gilded Goose. That's a lot of things to mulligan toward. I'll mull. Okay, 2 Heartless Summoning we'll keep. And I guess bottom one of the Heartless Summonings. Although if they have a discard spell, we're probably just going to fall apart, but I'll take that risk. Having mulliganed, I don't want to put a piece of value on the bottom. Oh god, another Prowess deck. Our hands are really bad against Prowess. But hey, at least we know we can win the matchup overall, right? Oracle of Moldiah, sure. Yeah, operating off a fetch land and a pain land in the face of Prowess. And we've mulliganed, and we're on the draw, and we don't have any interaction still. I think we're probably going to lose this one. What do you think? I think we're probably done for here. But we'll see. Lava Spike, yeah. I have to say that, like, I feel like maybe this is just an irrational negativity bias, but I feel that I keep, let's rephrase. I feel that my opponents literally never fail to have a turn 1 threat when I'm against Prowess, but as a Prowess pilot, I can tell you that it certainly doesn't always happen. Alright, what is I don't even know what our best draw is here. Fatal Push is most welcome, but I already took a big hit there. Thoughtseize? Yikes. I'm almost tempted to just Thoughtseize for info, then concede. Like, if we take a pain to play Heartless Summoning, is that really going to get us there? You know, it might. We're probably supposed to just show them what we're doing. The reason to Thoughtseize then Scoop is to not show them what we're doing. But, like, if we draw an untapped land, we can just play Get Rog Monster on turn 3, and they might not be able to win, to, like, kill us through that, and then we get to go crazy from there. So we'll try to win. We'll try to actually win. What are they going to do differently against a Heartless Summoning deck than they would against, like, a Overgrown Tomb Thoughtseize deck anyway? It's probably the same sideboarding protocols for them. They might also think we're some kind of a combo deck when we're really not. What's that? Is it Altar of the Brood? Is that what I'm thinking of that this combo's with? There's some kind of a combo deck built around that, but I don't think that's a green deck, right? I haven't seen that in probably 2 years minimum. Yeah, opponents just got a bunch of spikes. Tough progression to contend with. We might be getting T3'd right here, right now. Yeah, Lava Dart. If they have another spell, that's going to be curtains for us. Another 1 mana spell to be more precise. Yeah, okay. So we're at 7, we go to 6-5, and we get hit for 6. That's going to be the game. We could make the opponent see it, but they see it. Alright. Okay, so we know we can beat Prowess. I think I like our sideboarding. The only thing I wasn't sure about is whether siding out that Heartless Summoning was correct. I'm a little more inclined to leave all 4 in on the play. But we like every card over here. We like the Decay, and we like the Brutalities and the Pushes, so we do have a lot to do. I think we cut an Ob, the Oracles, 1 Tracker, all 3 Thoughtseizes, and then 1 card remaining, and we ended up cutting the Summoning last time. I think I'm going to leave them all in on the play, and cut what? That's the dilemma. I think Wayward Sword Tooth is very good here. I could maybe see just cutting another Tracker. Or an Excavator. I think Vizier as a natural 3/4 is something that should stay in. Could get greedy and cut a land. I don't think that's probably correct. Why don't we play with one fewer Nile Spellbomb? If we are going to keep all 4 Heartless Summoning in, we should not cut yet another creature, I guess. Seems quite fine to me. Well. I think we've got a lot of tools here. I don't know if I can go so far as to say I feel favored. Just don't have the familiarity with this archetype to claim that, but solid mid-range hand, push, brutality, excavator, 4 lands. Keep it. OP mulling. It'll be interesting. I don't think I'm going to push a turn 1 play. I don't think it, certainly if it's Soulscar Mage, I'm not going to. If it's Swifty, which of course they have. Interesting. I guess we take the 1 and escalate next turn fully with more info. It'll be a little awkward if we draw like something else that's really good, though, you know what I mean? Because like fully escalating, pitching 2 lands is not necessarily free. We'll see what we draw, though. Okay, we've drawn another land, so this is fully free. Escalate, boom, 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 pitching GQ Heath. Buying them back eventually with Excavator. They have Lava Spike, Monomorphose, Wild Slash. We're going to take the Monomorphose away. In the context of their hand, that is of a clear take in my opinion. Opponent going Mountain Spike. Made me think they drew a light up the stage, but they didn't. Alright, I'm just going to run out the Excavator here. We've drawn yet another land. It's not good. If they feel like priced into pointing a bolt at the Excavator, I think ultimately that's fine. We're not getting a ton of value out of it right now. So I think that's exactly what happens. All right, that's good enough for me. Like, you just gotta hope they don't have just the nuttiest of top decks, and we've got to start digging for some more action here. A couple of reactive cards is okay. Really love to get an engine online of some kind. Again, the Excavator's engine was kind of medium under those particular circumstances. When we're not looping a Dunes, whatever that card is called, or I have Kiln Fiend. They're a Kiln Fiend variant. Interesting. Okay, end step, push the Fiend. Their hand is Wild Slash and 1 unknown. Wayward Swordtooth. Doesn't really do anything right now, but I'll take it. This would have, like, the Excavator would have been good because of this card coming off the top. They have another Kiln Fiend, yup. Guess we should get our other Overgrown Tomb painlessly here. Gitrog Monster. Okay, then. Well, we're just going to pass, and they're probably going to shove all in with the Kiln Fiend, and we're going to get to trophy it. To that end, it was interesting to have considered not using the Fatal Push last time, right? but we were living in hope that we would draw action, which is why we did. But now that we know we don't have anything else to do, we're going to wait till the last possible moment to fire off the trophy here. Indeed, here comes the all-in. Bolt followed by Wild Slash. Followed by our trophy. There's no Lava Dart in the yard, nothing else in hand. Alright, let's draw a land for Gitrog, an untapped land for the Gitrog monster. Actually, I think all of our lands in this deck are untapped, aren't they? I'll have to look at that next time we're over at Collection, but I believe so. Come on, land. Come on, land. Gilded Goose. It's not a land, but it's a pretty good find. Just gotta fade them having a kill spell for it, and then it will be our way to play Gitrog, as well as a way to keep making permanents for Swordtooth and making life for our life total. They found a mountain, sweet. Alright, we're doing it. We're stabilizing. Ooh, a land. Okay, I think we keep the food token around due to that. Well, at the cost of 1 point of life. We're just one shy of the blessing right now. The Gitrog Monster. What a cool card. What a cool card. Okay, OP found a Soulscar Mage. It could be the start of something good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we make a food token in response to this, we have some degree of mana efficiency, and we get the blessing. I guess that's probably correct. Cool. Alright, the engine. The engine is online, and we find Nile Spellbomb. Cool. I'm going to play it and use it immediately to shut off Bedlam Revelers off the top for them. Which is always their scariest draw at this stage of the game. I mean, they're not far away from hard casting it anyway, but still correct. Send the Gitrog, leave the Swordtooth back. Again, a little awkward for our top 3 cards to not contain a land. But... Or no, sorry, they did, right? We had a swamp? I don't remember. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. Light up the stage, a good find off the top, to be sure, for the opponent. They light up into Shrine of Burning Rage and Mountain. Okay. Shrine is a bit of a problem, like, in general for us. Looks like we're going to be able to beat it here, but good to know about. Let's gain some life. I think once again I'm going to make a food token here. You could definitely do other things. But I'm opting for this. Okay, we are rewarded with the draw of Ramanop Excavator. Okay, opponent not blocking, they're going to go to 1. Get a forest, play another goose. And say go, holding up my food token. And hoping opponent does not rip the greatest series of top decks in the history of time on this turn. That is the concession. All right, all right. It was a pretty comfortable win in the end. Opponent, our reactive cards during our kind of mid-game lull lined up well against their mid-game Kiln Fiends. We also faded a Bedlam Reveler when we were soft to 1. So we were also on the play, lots of things going in our favor. On the draw, kind of tempted to take out a Heartless Summoning again. I think I'm going to. Don't know if it's correct, but we won with it last time. We're going to win with it again. That's the plan. Run it back. Hope you guys are all doing well under the outer world circumstances, the meat space circumstances. I know it's there's a lot of variation in terms of what people are going through. Some people have all the free time in the world. Others, like me, have even less free time than usual. Some people don't have a change in their income. Some people are totally without an income until the relief package appears for them and or until normalcy returns to the economy. Some people are unaffected medically, and others, to say the least, are. So, whatever your circumstances, my friends, I do hope that this content is helping you pass the time, whether it be at home or at work or whatever else, and I hope you're all doing as well as you can be under the circumstances. This hand is not good enough on the draw. Trophy's the only interaction. I think we have to mull it. Okay, we have 2 brutalities. I'm sure I'll keep. I think we're going to bottom Wayward Swordtooth, but you could go a couple different ways with that decision. Hey, they don't have a turn 1 play. Cool. They probably have a Kiln Fiend then, and our brutalities are going to like that just fine. But I probably, if they do play Kiln Fiend, I'm probably not escalating with all 3 modes. It's just not as good when you've mulliganed. And indeed it is the Fiend. So I'm probably just checking the hand and killing the Fiend. Reveal your hand, -2/-2. Cannot really afford the life gain right now, in my view. We'll pitch Gitrog. And we'll try to get an Excavator Tracker Engine online, but not really going to happen in the face of those wild slashes. And they have 2 Lava Spikes, too. That's a scary hand. Holy moly, that's a scary hand. Guess we're taking a slash. Frankly, kind of hoping they go Swifty Spike this turn so we can resolve another Brutality while their shield's down. Sure enough. Ooh, EE, huh? Is that better than Brutality? Probably. Not necessarily, though. But I think we should use it. Let's just save our Brutality for another Kiln Fiend. OP has drawn a Crash Through. They're going to have 2 unknowns when this resolves in hand. Close game so far, interesting game so far. Guess on our turn we're probably going Excavator almost no matter what they do, unless maybe they play a Kiln Fiend, will be priced into the Brutality. Okay, EE away that Swifty. It's kind of a clunky 1-for-1, but we'll take it. Alright, we've drawn Fatal Push, that's fine. So let's go Excavator, make a land drop. And we're holding up push. And if they do not kill Excavator, we get to get the Tracker Engine online. Tracker Excavator. Very, very good friends, right? And then we'll still have Brutality and Push waiting in the wings. So our position is slowly becoming more tenable. We're still at 14 life, too. Gonna be at a virtual 13, cracking this fetch. It's not bad. So we obviously want to fade Bedlam Reveler in general, but they can't quite cast it yet. They've also got a handful of gas they want to get out first, I'm sure. So maybe we want to fade Lightning Bolt, frankly. Looks like we have. Unless they're saving it for right now. Alrighty. Engine time. They really seem like they might be just still not sure whether they should be casting a Lightning Bolt. Or maybe it's like Wild Slash Lava Dart. Maybe that's the dilemma. Or double Wild Slash where they have to 2-for-1 themselves to stop our engine. That's exactly what it is. Okay, Wild Slash. Lava Dart. I called it. Okay. So they understandably were unsure about that because they could get really punished for it if we just had drawn a land this turn. Sadly for us, we didn't. We drew Gitrog Monster, number 2. So we don't make our land drop. It's pretty rough, but again, we've got a good hand. A lot of really live top decks. It is kind of rough, not gonna lie, that they had the answer to that. I would feel much more comfortable if we'd made land drop number 5 here. Okay, opponent spiking us. Could be light up, could be rev. That's the rev. Dang, dang, dang. Okay, scary. Scary, scary. Alright. Wayward Sword Tooth, excuse me, a pretty bad draw here. So I think we're supposed to Brutality, pitching Sword Tooth to drain and check the hand. Then we're still holding up Fatal Push and still hoping to draw a land to hardcast Gitrog. Pretty rough, though. Pretty rough stuff. So reveal the hand, drain you for 2. Monomorphose, light up the stage, really? I've, literally never found 3 cards this good off of any of the hundreds of Revelers I've resolved with this deck. Well, this is pretty rough. I guess we just have to take the light up. But it's pretty rough either way. If only we had an Assassin's Trophy in hand. Oh man, can you believe it? Can you believe what happens to us sometimes, my friends? First the ad nauseam, now this. Not like this. Not like this. We're definitely going to have to just chump with Tracker here and hope that kind of puts them kind of sort of out of gas, and then we finally draw a land for the Gitrog. And Gitrog can at least, maybe trade 2 for 1 with Bedlam Reveler plus a spell. Or could have an even higher ceiling than that. I actively hope they find, I was actively hoping one of the cards they found here was a Monastery Swiftspear so we could push it and have an answer to something that they're doing right now. Kiln Fiend would be just the same Soulscar Mage, but, with... Okay, they're darting us? I guess that means they found another light up the stage. Yup. Hey, it's what the deck does, but... Again, they literally couldn't find 3 better cards against what we were doing off that Bedlam Rev. You hate to see it. We could easily just die here. They found Swifty in Mountain, so that's not very bad. They have no more Lava Darts. 1 unknown in hand. Don't be a burn spell that you can point to the board. It's a Lava Spike going upstairs, sure. It's still pretty bad. But we have hope. We have a shot. You imagine if we had a trophy here, Trophy the Rev and trade would be real nice. Alright. Gilded Goose. Once again, we draw the Goose when we really need a land. It's better than nothing, but it's Oh, man, it's bad. It's pretty rough. I mean, technically it's better than a fair amount of our draws, but we have a lot of really good draws, too. We're not hitting those. So if the opponent draws a kill spell and points it at Goose, I guess we just gain the life. They draw Soulscar Mage. Alright. So now we don't gain the life, now we just take the hit here and then have a guaranteed Gitrog. And gotta hope he can just get us there. Come on. Okay, another Gilded Goose. Yeah, whatever. Not really a good draw. We're just a little bit too far on the ropes for it to be that good, right? Okay. The opponent needs to brick, for sure. We need them to brick right now, and then maybe our engine can bury them. But first things first, you gots to brick, my friend. You gotta brick. I mean, we're dead to a lava spike. Pretty intense game either way. It's been a good game. It's been a good couple matches against Prowess. I do love the deck. I do like playing against it too. Just wish they would take it a little bit easier on us sometimes. Abrade. Abrading the Gitrog monster main phase. You got it. It still has Death Touch. It's still going to trade with your Bedlam Reveler. I mean, we needed them to brick. That wasn't a brick. So our position is getting worse and worse. But we're not dead. Alright, what can we draw here? A third Gilded Goose. Okay, I mean, if they brick, we could get some joy out of this. I think we have to main phase this food activation to play around with them ripping Lightning Bolt. Okay. Please brick, OP. Please brick. We're going to assign a block if they just go to attacks. Shrine of Burning Rage. Opposite of a brick and specifically very good against us in this situation right now. Like, arguably better than a single burn spell. It forces a chump block and it naturally outscales no matter what else happens. Come on, we rip Heartless Summoning. Bruh moment. Okay, I guess we gotta play Summoning and hope it's good. But it makes our Geese unable to... Oh, man, maybe we're not supposed to play it. Yeah, I think we're actually not supposed to play it. Why don't we just hold up food tokens? Unreal. Okay, OP finds a land. Finally not a spell, but it's a canopy land, so they get to draw off it. Okay, once again, we will block if they attack. They don't. Alright. We definitely make at least one food token. I think we're just making both food tokens here. Hoping for a nut draw off the top. It's a fetch land. Really? Could have used this a million turns ago. Oh man, oh man. We've just got no love. We've just got no love right now. I don't know how correct this is, but I think I'm going to put a counter. I'm also going to gain some life main phase just playing around like double bolt. Not that I suspect them for it at all, but you understand why we're doing it, right? Okay, like if we can ever stop bricking. If we can ever stop bricking, we've got a shot. Looks like opponent's flooding, though. Let's make another food. Oh, wait a minute. Sacking a food to make a food doesn't make sense. I was thinking I was holding that up. Ooh, we found trophy. Spicy. I guess we're going to trophy the shrine in response to its trigger on their turn. It's something, guys. It's something. So that they cash it in to hit a goose? Or what's the play going to be? They go upstairs, sure. I think I like that better than losing a goose, but... And now I'm going to gain 3, once again playing around double lightning bolt. The geese stabilizing us. Opponent plays another mountain. Okay, well, the bricks that we asked for are coming, but we need to do something more than this. And we are breaking left, right, and center as well. You hate to see it. Like, you know how many amazing draws we have? Like, playing lands out of the graveyard, any of those cards would be great to get the Grasping Dunes back and start and answer the Soulscar Mage and all the rest. They can't brick forever. Neither can we, though. That's the thing. Neither can we. They're going to bolt upstairs. Main phase. Does that mean light up the stage? I guess. Maybe. Otherwise, I don't necessarily understand that. Or does it just mean Bedlam Reveler? Light up. Sure. It's pretty bad. They found Wild / Soulscar Mage. Pretty bad, guys. We need help. We need help finally off the top of our deck. We've only drawn lands and geese for the last million turns after being mono-screwed for a while. It's turn 14. Where's our stuff? Where's our good stuff? Okay, so the goose that they slash will, in response, make a food token. Okay. Alright, come on, deck. A swamp. Dude. Come on with this stuff. Just come on with this. Really? Really? You couldn't make it up, could you? I don't think you could. They're finding their canopy lands. We're not. I would take one of those instead of one of these fetch lands. For sure. For sure right about now. And just a dead Heartless summoning in hand. It would be actively bad to have played it at any point, since we got it. But opponent not attacking. They found a third Soul Scar. That's actually terrifying. So we'll make a food token, we'll gain another 3. Hey, you know what? These geese are putting in all kinds of work. And I think I'm at the point where I just want to fetch to thin out the deck. Yeah, that's probably wrong, but I want to. GQ. Stop it. Stop it. Please, we can't take any more bricks. What is wrong with our top decking abilities lately? They only attack with the 1/2s. I'm blocking. I'm going to make them have something. We're in trouble if they have something anyway. I'm calling the bluff. Bluff has been called. We save a life. They didn't have anything. They have a Kiln Fiend, though. Yikes. Oh, it's getting scarier and scarier, guys. And there's legit, like, nothing... Nothing more that we can do. We're gaining all the life in the world. Maybe we'll win on the clock. Come on, deck. Ramanop Excavator. Good draw. Let's buy back. Where is it? Where are you, Grasping Dunes? There you are. Buying back the Dunes. I guess we're going to kill the Soulscar Mage, but one other thing we could do is try to hope they break this turn and kill the Kiln Fiend over 2 turns, but I think I'm just taking this guaranteed kill. Like, our Excavator can trade with the Fiend anyway, right? Opponent finding an islet. You got a brick again. It's only fair. It's only fair. They found a Swifty. Sure. At some point when they eventually find a spell, it's going to be pretty bad for us. A non-creature spell, that is. This is quite the game. Both decks showing a pretty high fail rate here. In various ways, while also accomplishing other things. Wow, they're really sending all these things in. Just shoving a little damage across. I don't think that's correct. Because I know they don't have anything. So we get to eat a Soul Scar and get a free block here, so they lose a creature to do 1 damage when we're at 14, and making food every turn. I do not think that's correct. I'm now going to fetch to thin. Little worse if we draw a tracker, but whatever. Okay, we just put another land on the top of our deck, apparently. Okay, try to start killing this Fiend over 2 turns. This is only sorcery speed, yeah. I was gonna say maybe we could hold it up, but nah. Alright, at this point we're holding that fetch land. Just to bluff. We already used our brutalities, but whatever. They draw another Monastery Swiftspear. I hope they make that same attack again. Please attack again. Please get 1 damage across. They don't do it this time. Alright. We're making food. We're gaining 6 life. How many points of life have geese gained us this game? Does some enterprising viewer want to calculate that? That'd be really cool. If you do, leave it in the comments. How many life have we gained off of geese this game? Alright. We've drawn a trophy. That's fine. That accomplishes something. But first order of business is to kill this Kiln Fiend. See you later. Then we'll say go. Opponent with another Canopy Land, yep. They have 20 cards left in their deck. We have 32. That is the concession. Holy moly, guys. I cannot believe we won that one. That was epic. That was really cool. I hope you guys liked that one as much as I did. Pretty awesome stuff. Yeah, back-to-back wins over Prowess with Frogtown. Love to see it. I need to take a quick break, and I will see you for round 4. Well, we're back, my friends. What an unlikely win that was over Prowess, given for how long we were doing absolutely nothing besides cranking out and then subsequently cracking food tokens off of the Gilded Goose. Look at this. Deathrite Goose. Who needs Deathrite Shaman when you have Gilded Goose? Truly a remarkable and unlikely victory there for us, but we did get there. And we're moving on to round 4. I hope you guys are having fun. Yeah, again, both decks really breaking off way more than expected there in the mid-game, but eventually it did favor us. So, doing alright, doing pretty well actually with Frogtown. And once again, it's a hand with discarded and geese. It's a little bit of a different looking one, but we'll keep it relative to what we're used to seeing. There is a real tension here, though, between Thoughtseize and geese. Like, we have to either fetch and shock, which is terrible for our life total, or open on a peat land, or only play 1 goose at a time. So I think for that reason I'm actually going to lead on our goose, even though normally I would lead on Thoughtseize. It's specifically the nature of the lands in our hand makes me want to do this. And maybe it's a little bit of a bias because I've just played back-to-back red deck wins decks, right? But we are against Tron. It's Tron. Yeah, not great. Especially because we just drew Fatal Push. So, life total's free enough, I guess, to do this. Thoughtseize you. So they have Sanctum of Ugin, Relic of Progenitus, Sylvan Scrying. I think we need to take Sylvan Scrying, just try to keep him off of Tron as long as possible. That is the cleanest way to do so. But we are in a whole lot of trouble unless we top deck a good threat right away. Because we just have no clock. Just have no clock whatsoever. OP goes Star into Stirrings, which is a very good backup plan, and indeed they find a Tron land off it. So we were unable to keep them off of this, and they found Expedition Map for turn. Yeah, so now the new plan is to simply Thoughtseize away the payoff. Admittedly, Thoughtseize was a pretty good draw. But still probably only a matter of time before we get Troned. End step, we're just going to make another food token. So yeah, a nice draw of Thoughtseize for sure. We got to draw Ramanop Excavator and Ghost Quarter. How about just Ghost Quarter first? And then we'll get an Excavator, and Tron will wish they had never taken the field against us. Yep, the time to realistically race them has come and gone. It's time to find a GQ. I wonder how well Traverse, the Ulvenwald, would fit into this deck. It's not particularly graveyard dependent right now. That would change, and that would be, less than ideal, obviously, in some ways. But I do wonder about, tutoring for our various, value pieces and everything like that. Okay, end step, we're making a food rather than cracking a peatland just because we can use the food to fuel our turn this turn. And we do have to begin by cracking peatland because we're just drawing nothing of relevance. Come on, GQ. Literal, just flood and flood and flood. Alright, I'm using the other peatland here. Come on, GQ. We won't have it this turn. Literal nothing. Alright, guys, well, we tried. I think we're flooding way more than we should be on this deck. It's only 24 lands. There's no, especial flood proneness relative to a normal mid-range deck. You can say that sometimes our answers are pretty much the same, but they're in a little bit shorter supply. You can say that sometimes our threats are not as potent. Sometimes they're more conditional or more dirtily. But we shouldn't be flooding this much. The flood is really what's just, killing us. Killing us to no, with no real purpose behind it. Opponent tutors up a blast zone. They're going to zone away the geese, which really punishes us for so aggressively cracking the peatlands, but I don't think it was incorrect. I just think we got punished. We draw Inquisition. Okay, they got 5 cards in hand. Can't take any of them. Karn Liberated and Ulamog both in hand. What a miserable G1 against Tron that was. Alright, well, I mean, okay. It's not even, we can't even really blame Tron for that, because our deck just didn't really do anything. Maybe if a Fatal Push could have crippled the opposing deck, we could have done something, but when you flood like that, there's not much you can do. Not much you can do at all. So, what do we like against Tron? Abrupt Decay does something. Acidic Slime for sure. Not going to bring in Lost Legacy. There's really not much we can do against Tron. And our Fatal Pushes have to come out, so that's 2 in, 2 out. Probably supposed to just run it back like this. A Brutality on the play to take a Sylvan Scrying is not the very worst, but I really think every other card is probably better. We just get to stick to the maximum consistency of our plan A, which, as you saw from that game 1, is not always that consistent even when it's 100% configured for it, right? Okay. Well, it's a shame if we just roll over and die to Tron after some hard-fought wins, but we're a triple Ghost Quarter deck and we can very easily loop them a lot of the time. So, between that and our Disruption and our 3 trophies, there's no reason to believe that we should just roll over and die. So let's not. Let's not. Alright, this plays a turn 3 Acidic Slime, and it also has Ghost Quarter, so despite the fact that it's not that exciting in many ways, I do think it's a keep. Just the fact that it's only 2 spells is what's unexciting. Opponent with keeping 7 mine into map. You know, when Tron keeps the full grip and they've got T3 Tron probably rolled up, it's sometimes a little bit tough. Thankfully, we are on the play. An awkwardly timed Inquisition, to be sure. We're still going to go Heartless Summoning here. Ooh, opponent. Making the land drop of Urza's Tower, but then seemingly considering something else. In the end, they do just pass. No. They play a star, really? Okay. How interesting. Oh, Nature's Claim! That's why. That would be why. Dang. And we just draw another land. Well, let's Inquisition, see what their hand is so we know what land to Ghost Quarter. They have a second copy of mine. So they have Oblivion Stone, Relic of Progenitus, some scary stuff. Slime can tag artifact or land. Kind of think we're supposed to take the Relic, but you could really see taking O-Stone. But right now, I think I'd rather hit Relic. Dang, I can't believe they both brought in the claim and have it. Pretty punishing for our keep and for our subsequent top decks, but that is what it is. Hit the tower, say go. Doing it now gives them, like, they can't do anything with this 1 mana. So, between that and the fact that we know we're not going to be, stone raining them with no basics to fetch just yet, I kind of like doing it then. We draw Oracle of Moldiah, huh? I guess we're just making land drops and saying go, hoping to find an excavator off the top next turn, probably. Hoping to... Opponent didn't crack the map last turn. Interesting. Found trophy. All right. I think we go for the Oracle here, though. So we're about to draw Decay. They've got Spatial Contortion, sure. Then Expedition Map. So we're about to draw Decay. We're going to get to go Thraggy here. We're going to get to Acidic Slime the tower. And it's going to turn into kind of a mid-rangey game from there. All right, well, we're disrupting. OP with the Stirrings. Finding another O-Stone. They know about our Decay. They play one out. They attack. We're trading. Can't take these hits for 5. And we find Swamp. All right, I will begin by cracking Peatland, looking for something a little better to do than all this. Heartless Summoning. I think I'm going to play it because I think it's going to be O-Stone bait. That's what I kind of hope. And if not, it could let us go off and have a really nutty turn and answer O-Stone on our own terms. You know, so I think I'm just taking a couple hits from this beast for now. Opponent found the third Urza's Mine. Sure. Alright, let's untap, see what we found. What we can find, rather. Wayward Swordtooth. A pretty bad draw. I'm going to say go. They're fate countering the beast, eh? I guess that's our cue to decay it. Seems kind of like playing not to lose, but I don't really see another option here. Do you? Like, expedition map, sure. They find a tower, we're going to trophy the tower, keep competing over that, and try to keep drawing, like, ghost quarters and things like this. Gotta find Excavator. Excavator's the key here. Or, you know, a good find. I don't know if it's the key in the face of an O-Stone, but it's a good find. Okay, we'll play a -1/1 Goose, and we're going to say go. Draws have not really complied here. These double O-Stones tough to fight through. Opponent just makes the 7th land drop naturally, so we're pretty done for. They've got a Karn liberated. Okay, we gotta find another trophy, I guess, to stay in the game. Thoughtseize. Okay, we can take the other Oblivion Stone or whatever else they have in there. I think we know about the tower on the field that's subsequently been destroyed. Poorly timed Thoughtseize. They have a 2nd Karn liberated and an O-Stone. We're not getting there, but we'll take liberated. We'll play for, I guess, one more turn. Looking for an out. Yeah, I mean, we disrupted well enough. We could not stick an early threat. You know, if this Oracle of Moldiah getting spatial contortion didn't seem like that big a deal at the time, but I think it kind of was. She could have ramped us and accelerated us. Maybe into something that would have allowed us to pressure the board better, which in turn would have allowed us to decay the O-Stone instead of the 3/3 Beast, which in turn would have made the game different. Yeah. Alright. The Gitrog monster. So, if we play them, then they ult Karn. I've never actually been ulted by Karn, I don't think. I've always scooped before then. Restart the game. They will begin with just a Swordtooth. Whatever. We're not beating this. I'm just going to concede. I'm thinking about, like, can we beat... Yeah, no, we can't. We're done. Let's just move on. Well, I think we can beat Tron with this deck, for sure. If we had, like, our progressions that we had against Ad Nauseam against this one. Imagine us flooding the board early with permanents and also GQing to efficiently disrupt on the way while prisoning the potential for a GQ loop. I don't think it's that terrible of a matchup. You know, again, the discard is good as well. But opponent did keep 7 very strong 7s both games. And our top deck didn't really comply, so we were brought back down to earth with Tron. Hey, you know, I think, given the fact that we're playing a Fringe archetype, I wouldn't have been too upset with a 2 and 3 if you told me that's what we were going to get beforehand. So that's the floor of our league is the 2 and 3, but we're playing for the positive record here in round 5. Let's do it. I think we've lost every single die roll this league. We also have to mulligan this non-functional hand. Feels bad. Alright, this hand is potentially powerful. I'm going to keep it. Bottom Oracle, and hope they play a turn 1 Fatal Push target, whose loss will cripple them. Silent Clearing Inquisition. Yikes. Seems bad for us, having mulliganed, for sure. Whatever their deck is, you know. Might be Dead Guy Ill. Might be a Taxes deck. That's kind of the perfect start for them, though. Because our hand is very vulnerable to an Inquisition. It's like we have multiple points of fragility. If they have a threat that can run away with the game, they can take away our Fatal Push, like if it's Stoneforge Mystic. If they don't, they can just take this Heartless Summoning and our hand becomes pretty awful. Pretty clunky, pretty bad on the whole. So, drawing the third land's okay, though. It's going to let us do things on curve. We are eventually threatening an Excavator Peatland loop. Oh, Flagstones. This is Smallpox? Man. Okay, well, at least they didn't have the namesake card, right? Or maybe they did, but they can't cast it. Or that, or they're waiting for us to play a creature. I don't know. Hard to read. Lingering Souls, sure. Tracker. Well, I guess we're going to play a Tracker because none of our engine cards are quite lining up at the moment. Because it's the one that we now have a duplicate of, I suppose that's what we should do. But I cannot imagine our position is good. There's like so many ways this just goes so downhill so fast, including a Smallpox right now. But these are things we cannot play around. Our hand does not give us the luxury of doing that. Main deck Brutality. Okay. There goes our push. And our Tracker. They've got all the souls you could ever ask for. So, it ain't good. It ain't good at all. So we just want to rip Affectland off the top so we can go Tracker, make some clues, start getting the Excavator engine online, eventually play the Sword Tooth, and we're still going to struggle in the face of their interaction, plus having seen 2 copies of Lingering Souls in the first 4 turns. That card's very good against us. So I doubt we're going to get there, but that would be a good start. Instead, we draw an uncastable card, so now we'll save our Tracker and play the Excavator, I guess. So, just to give you some context, like, I think in all 4 of my warm-up games where we went 4-0 in the lobby, I had better progressions than we're seeing here in the league. I don't know why this happens to me sometimes with just the bad variance when we're on camera. Really, opponent's on Elspeth's Son's Nemesis, so this is just kind of an unbeatable progression. We can beat this deck, but combination of the factors right now, we're just not going to get there. Fetchland right now gives us a marginal shot. Instead, it's another do nothing. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Okay. Well, it's time for our luck to turn around. We're going to get the favor of the variance in these last 2 games. I hope. Okay, I mean, they seem like a Smallpox deck to me. With that Escape Planeswalker, with all the Lingering Souls, with the Flagstones and the Fetid Heath. I think they're a Smallpox deck. There's not a whole lot we can do about it, I guess. We're just kind of soft to it. I don't know if we should play Abrupt Decay. You know, it's good against Stoneforge Mystic if they have that. It's bad against, like, Souls and 4-drop Planeswalkers. So I'm not sure. Why don't we consider bringing in Doomwake Giant to wipe the Souls and Whisperwood Elemental to grind? And I think I'm gonna get, like, Spellbomb, Explosives, Cage, all seem pretty good. We don't want too much that, like, only deals with Lingering Souls, though, but I think all these cards are pretty justifiable. You could even definitely consider an Acidic Slime here. Let's figure out what we don't like. I think I'm cutting away a bit of discard here, just going more all in on the value. Probably going to cut a land as well. Let's cut a basic forest. Maybe that's wrong if they're a Path to Exile deck, but we still have 8. Alright, I think I'm rating these 5 the most highly of the value cards, and our main deck is honestly pretty good here, so... I mean, if we cut both of our pushes, we're just so soft to Stoneforge Mystic if they have it. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we're going to leave in pushes, leave out Decay. So we got to make 2 cuts. I guess Obnixilis is kind of like a racing card. Why don't we cut that? We're going on the grind plan, and we're going to cut a Wayward Swordtooth because it's just been dead too much for my tastes. And I guess against in the face of interaction, we should expect that to be more the case. Yeah, Swordtooth and Ob seem more like racing cards, whereas Excavator, Tracker, Oracle, Vizier, Gitrog are grindy cards. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm no expert. Let's hope for, like, a nutty progression here. We can do it. We can put one together. Has potential to be. I like it. Opponent mauling. I like that, too. I like it. Our Excavators have the potential to make a smallpox plan rather embarrassing as well. Okay, they have Disenchant Inquisition. That's so annoying. Because they can answer Heartless Summoning either way. I can't believe that. They multi 6 and they have 2 answers to summoning. Oh, our hand just got so much worse. So much worse. Now I kind of want to take Liliana, because now we're, like, not running them over with Heartless Summoning. And we have to play for the long game, which I think means taking Liliana. Yep. Unreal. Well. Now we just kind of want to make our natural land drops and try to play a value game, but... So much for us showing the nutty progressions that I know the deck's capable of. It's just not happening for us. If they don't take summoning, we could always top deck another one, too. Like, the way our variance has been going lately, I'm just kind of assuming we're not going to, because that'd be really good. But you could see it. Alright, time to play the summoning. Trade with the Disenchant. We've drawn a land, which is okay. Something that we needed to do. They show us a land that we did not know about. There's the Disenchant. Okay. Another summoning? Nope, we draw Trophy. Okay, 2 trophies in hand. Against the Bloodghast deck seems bad, but I think we need them in our deck. For those Planeswalkers and, again, potentially Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, man. This is like the worst card to have of any of our 3-drop threats right now. That's why we shaved one. They play land and play Bloodghast. Looks like they're flooded. Hey, Grasping Dunes. That beats a Bloodghast? Except, not really, because it's just going to come back. Kind of funny, though. Well. Making the 4th land drop is not the worst. But we obviously have to find something that's actually gonna get us somewhere here, right? Gilded Goose. Okay. It's pretty good at just, like, winning the war against Bloodghast and turning on Wayward Swordtooth. This is a good card in the deck. Make no mistake. Okay, they're pushing Swordtooth. Fair enough. I actually am pretty okay with that. I never thought against this interactive black-white deck my 5/5 was just gonna, like, solo them. So I'm kind of cool just having Goose around. Not if we just flood. Alright. We're hoping that for once in this league, we're going to top deck the right way. I'm telling you guys, the deck has good top decking power. We're just not really seeing it relative to our opponents. A couple shambling vents is a little rough. I guess we're supposed to trophy this one. And eventually, when we've used our trophies, maybe we'll consider hitting the Bloodghast with a Grasping Dunes, but we're not there yet. Only if we flood more and we've used our trophies. Alright, deck. Where's our good stuff? Where is it? Where's the Gitrog monster? A forest. Oh, no. I don't understand. I'm going to hold this one to make their discard a little bit worse, I guess. I don't get it, though, guys. Like, can't we catch a break? Can't we catch a break? We literally haven't caught a break with our deck yet. Our wins have come from the opponent's fail rates a little bit, more than anything. Maybe that's not true. Our progression G1, round 1, our progressions were pretty impressive, but since then, yep, not so much. Alright, I don't really want to trophy this vent and then just, like, lose to a Planeswalker, so I think I'm going to take one hit from it. Gain some life back. EE. Not a very good draw. If we were getting beat by a billion Lingering Souls, it would be fine. I guess we're supposed to play it out as a hedge against that. Can't bring myself to play it on 2. But we're the only ones with the 0 drops on the field right now, right? So it just seems terrible. But again, this is where we're at. This is where we are at. Okay, opponent with the flagstones. Duplicate here, getting a Godless Shrine. I'm going Shambling Vent mode. I think I'm taking the hit again. Gonna be really judicious with my trophy. Obviously, the opponent lifelinking isn't ideal either for us eventually winning the game, but... Alright, deck. Alright, I know you've got it in you. Give us something awesome to work with. Give us something awesome. Nurturing Peatland. It does a thing. It sees us another card. Tracker. Okay. I mean, running it out's bad against removal, holding it's bad against discard. I think they have removal, though. That is my read. So I am going to hold it. I'm going to get a little greedy with the tracker, but I think we have to, given how long we've spent doing nothing, right? But if they just promptly play a discard spell right now, I don't know how I'm going to react. Ashiok Dream Render. Yeah, don't really care right now. They exile some... Yeah, they exile the fetch land we would have wanted. Along with summoning Excavator Inquisition. That's whatever. Alright, are we finally going to trophy the vent, or still not quite yet? I think now I might, just because, like, we cannot necessarily afford to hold it in hand as easily any longer. With us trying to go tracker into land, or maybe drawing another spell and being incentivized to just dump out the hand, like if we draw another 3-drop, for instance. Well, Gilded Goose is MVP of this league, if you ask me. Thoughtseize. Sure, I guess this lets us know whether we should play Tracker or not. I think opponent has a Fatal Push, because they keep hesitating, like, on our draw step. They have 2 lands. Okay, well... Thoughtseize is a whiff. However, we can play the tracker, and hopefully we won't get punished for it. Hopefully we draw a land next turn, start going off, doing tracker things. And obviously we want to fade a kill spell or a bomb top deck from the OP. Lingering Soul's not much of a bomb top deck in the face of our EE, but they could still, you know, just play the front half and make our life really awkward until we crack EE or otherwise muscle our way through it. They instantly top deck a removal spell. We can literally just can't catch a break today, guys. I am sorry. I wish we were getting even a moderate amount luckier. It would be way, way better for the league. Again, nevertheless, we're hanging in there, but you couldn't make it up. We slow roll the tracker for so long. Finally clear the way for it with a Thoughtseize. Oh, they milled themselves with Ashiok, so they get a free Bloodghast back, which is pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to retread it. You guys are seeing what's going down. Not nice. Not nice. Alright, come on, Gitrog, something? Any bomb. Deck full of bombs. We draw Marsh Flats. Alright. We are not meant for this. I think what I'm supposed to do is Grasping Dunes one of the Bloodghasts right now. Providing them some amount of tension with this Marsh Flats, you know, not waiting for the perfect moment necessarily for it. They find a Smallpox. Cool. Alright. Make a food token in response. Goose, you were amazing. You were amazing. Obviously, the perfectly timed Smallpox to punish us for using the Grasping Dunes last turn. It was not incorrect. It was simply the millionth thing in this league that's punishing us. I mean, I'm not tilting either. I'm just explaining how it is. Yep. Okay, so we're about to go to 3, about to lose in roughly the most painful way possible, while being ahead of about 5 minutes on the clock against a Smallpox deck where we're just drawing absolute nothing. Losing to some very slow Bloodghast beats. Opponent mills themselves. Does not find the 3rd and 4th Bloodghast, thankfully. Also fetches and fails to find, so their Bloodghasts are actually stuck in the yard until further notice. So some punts from the OP, and we can't punish them because we draw the millionth brick of the game. Wow. Alright, opponent's going to draw a Thoughtseize here, so I'm going to hold this in hand. Sometimes, guys, this is my favorite game in the world. I love being here with you. I love everything about Magic, but sometimes the variance is just a little bit much for me, as it is for everybody, right? They mill over some bombs. They mill over Blindly Mill our Whisperwood Elemental and Oracle of Moldiah. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. I guess we don't quite need to gain the life yet with food. It could be nice to keep it around. The Gitrog monster is our find. Yes, we did. We did a thing. We did a thing. We did a good thing. We did like a strong thing. We're playing the Gitrog monster. Now, I really hope the opponent doesn't have an answer to it right away. That's what we gotta hope for now. Opponent reading the card. Hey, if we take him to game 3, we could win this one on the clock. The way it's going. Gotta remember we cannot fetch into this Ashiok, but that's okay because it's a free sack to Gitrog. Okay, opponent milling themselves, finding a Lingering Souls off of it. Milling over a second copy of Ashiok as well. It is good to know about these Ashioks if we do go to game 3. Alright. I mean, our life total is just not free, but I think we want the cards badly enough. So we should be drawing off the Gitrog and then sacking a land, I guess. Now that Ashiok has been dealt with. Okay, so we draw Gilded Goose. We fetch a swamp. I guess we're just going to lose a land without doing anything with the mana here. We draw Doomwake Giant, Verdant Catacombs. Pretty nice. Pretty nice, not gonna lie. Alright, let's jam the giant, right? Seems good. Our deck is doing it. We're having the bombs come off the top of the deck, just like we're meant to. This is pretty epic. I'm glad you had us play this one, John. However this last one ends, I am pretty cool with it, you know? We're going to 5, we're playing with fire a little bit with our life total, but it's worth it to get the goose online. I've also found Ghost Quarter, which I guess we'll play. But we don't want to use, so we don't want to bring their Bloodghasts back. And then we send in the big Froggy. This has been relatively skill testing. I feel like I've done all right, but we're having our decision-making really challenged. Opponent ripped another Lingering Souls, which is pretty good. I thought they had another one in the graveyard. Why am I only seeing one? Anyway, I think I'm going to make a food token in response to this trigger. And then I'm going to sack GQ. And we found Assassin's Trophy Heartless Summoning, some pretty bad finds. Some pretty bad finds, not gonna lie. But our board is good enough to hopefully take us all the way over the line in conjunction with these food tokens. If they want to throw away some spirits to block, I'm cool with that. I think we have the inevitability here, not them. Okay, they just block one. Seems like probably the correct block to me. Opponent will attack with the Lonely Spirit. Sure. Hope they don't have like a Damnation or something dumb like that. Their attack makes sense if they have one, though. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm reading them for. Brutality. They're just draining for 2. Okay, so they're not checking the hand. I'm going to gain life in response. Just in case. Then that'll resolve. And they're flashing back the souls, yep. They have 1 unknown in hand, they move to the end step, we'll use up another token, go to 8. And I'm going to float a mana here. And then sack it, potentially cracking EE during my... I have a stop in my own upkeep. I think I didn't, but now I do. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think now's the time to crack EE. Okay. We could have gained the life there, but with the peatland around, I thought it better to have more mana to operate with. We have a lot of really good draws that reward us for this. Oracle is interesting, but I think I'm just going to play another Goose. Well, we can just actually fetch first and get another free draw. Why don't we do that? We're out of fetchables. Yeah, I'm just going to play around a Damnation by only playing Goose here. I don't see a need to play Oracle as well. Thoughtseize. You got it. Can they withstand the Giant and the Gitrog monster? They take away Heartless Summoning. I don't think... that doesn't seem correct, does it? They have another soul, so they can withstand. Dang. Unreal. Unreal. However, it should only be buying them time, and again, maybe this works to our advantage with the clock in game 3. Just sacking a land here, not worrying too much about it. Gotta remember, I've got these stops. I'm like, what am I doing? Play Oracle. Spellbomb off the top. Gotta remember, we cannot fetch anything off of that Windswept Heath. Oracle as a 2/2 beater now makes a lot of sense with them down to 2. And we're holding up Fatal Push, or making a food token, or a trophy here. That's the game. Cool. Alright guys, well we're doing it. We still have time to show you a real nut draw with this deck. We can still do it in game 3. Let's get it. Let's get there. And let's get the 3-2 with Frogtown, with Golgari Frogtown. We're having some good moments. We're having some real good moments. Now let's have like a steamroll game 3 here. So they're not on Stoneforge Mystic, they are on Bloodghast. I think we've seen enough where we want Grafdigger's Cage now. We're a little less worried about the value play of something like SFM. Cutting one Fatal Push seems free enough. Shadow Spear, not bad against the Souls, but maybe a little Winmore. I don't think I'm probably going to play it. I think I'm just going to put an Inquisition back in. Seems more necessary on the draw against Smallpox. In place of this other Fatal Push. Fatal Push is good against Shambling Vent, though. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's close. It's very close. I think we run it as Shambling Vent should not be the card that we're really losing to. We have 3 GQs that can be looped, and we have 3 trophies, and a lot of our stuff will just outsize it if we're doing our thing. Well, this turned into another very long league, and again, as I keep saying, this just keeps happening, and I guess if now's the time to do it, right? Because everybody's got more free time, or many people do, not me. We've got a hand. Opponent mauls, we keep. We don't really have sideboard cards, but we do, and nor do we have much interaction, but we do have turn 1 Goose, turn 2 Summoning into hopefully some really good stuff. We have a very painful selection of lands, though. Do not smallpox me, please, and thank you. Can't really play around it with his hand. I mean, we could, but then we'd just be like... Oh, no, they have it. No, it's just brutality. Alright. That's still very bad. Because they had a Souls to pitch to it. Okay, we don't need these stops until we have a Gitrog, I guess. Tireless Tracker, a potentially really good draw, if they don't have a disenchant. Please don't disenchant our summoning. We've got a nut draw. We've got a nut draw you. Okay, third land. Pass. Cast a 1-mana tracker. Go Peatland. Into a 1-mana Swordtooth. Into another land drop, into a 1-mana Excavator. That is our play here. Okay, so they make a Spirit, we sack our tracker. That sucks. But we're still going off here. We still got a clue. A nice turn. A real nice turn. And now if we keep our stuff around, we can loop Peatlands. We can loop even Grasping Dunes. Against Spirit tokens, it seems really good. Opponent with an Ashiok. Okay. Not the scariest. They might not even activate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we draw, you gotta imagine at almost anything next turn lets us get the City's Blessing and attack. I guess an interactive spell wouldn't. Anything else will. They do mill. They mill themselves, then exile us. No value to be found. Alright. Come on, Heater off the top. Heater top deck. They're attacking us. Well, I guess we do have a lot of pain in our mana, but still relatively surprising here. Of course, one of the very, very, very few draws that does not get us the City's Blessing. How annoying can you get? Well, another Excavator seems okay. Now we have the Blessing. Cool. I guess we're attacking Ashiok, even though I don't know how much I care. I guess it's probably the responsible thing to do. Alright, guys, we are going off. We are going to town. Going to Value Town, to Frogtown. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. I'm becoming delirious. Ignore me. Ignore me. Alright, they're gonna they're thought seizing. Do we just trophy? I think I'm gonna trophy a Shambling Vent in response. Seems reasonable. Okay, opponent got one unknown in hand. They do have a redraw with the clearing, though. What's it gonna be? Do they have another copy of Lingering Souls? Because that would suck. This is worse. They have Sarah the Benevolent, making a 4/4 flying angel. And then they can pump the flyers. Man, a Planeswalker is a little brutal, not gonna lie. Spellbomb, a pretty fine draw. I think we begin there. Let's take our time on this decision. Like, we could just hit the dunes. Twice. Take care of the spirit, shrink the angel, attack Sarah. Or could we do it 3 times? What if we shrink the angel to a 1/1 and attack with everything? No, because we can only make 1 extra land drop. I was thinking 2 for a second here. Think I'm beginning with Spellbomb. Hitting that back half of Lingering Souls is really good. We draw a Swamp, which is, I suppose, alright. Let's kill the spirit. Let's put a counter here on the angel. I guess we're just attacking Sarah. This is pretty intense. Excavator's putting in a ton of work here. Okay, Sarah goes down. They're going to try to race us with the angel, so it's literally an insane value town board against a 3/3 angel. They find Bitter Blossom. Yeah, interesting. That could be good. But it could be fine for us as well. It's an interesting draw. We find Thoughtseize, a very bad draw. A very, very bad draw. Indeed. I think we're just shrinking the angel twice and racing, right? Wayward Swordtooth showing up big here at the end of this game. This oversized body really allowing us to pressure them in a manner that that matters, right? Okay, opponent in top deck mode again, and they crack clearing. It's the first order of business, a good sign for us. They play Flagstones. I've got a free attack with this angel. I think our best maneuver here is to only lose 1 life and crack the Peatland. We would be like 95% to win if our mana hadn't been so painful. As it is, a little bit less, but I'm still feeling good about it. Okay, we draw a couple bricks. So it's just time to go on the Grasping Dunes plan yet again. Seems really good. Seems really, really good. That's the concession. Oh, man. I gotta put Grasping Dunes on the cover of this thumbnail of this league. Woo-hoo. Guys, we cashed a league with Frogtown, with Golgari Frogtown, and we were so ridiculously unlucky, to lose to Ad Nauseam. You know, there's variance, and then there's variance. Like, a lot of the times, we were like, well, you know, this isn't great, that wasn't great. We bricked a lot, but there's nothing that you can really... There's, like, not really a matter of nuance or opinion involved when you're against Ad Nauseam and they top deck the namesake card twice when they really need to both times. Especially Game 1. Game 3, they might have had a little bit more wiggle room to top deck other things. Game 1, round 1, they literally just needed to top deck AN, and they did. Despite the setback, we pull through with a really solid 3-2. Gilded Goose was amazing. So the idea behind, again, not playing Commune with whatever, is it Commune with the Gods to find what an creature or an enchantment? I believe so. The idea, again, behind not playing Commune with the Gods to replace Once Upon a Time is partially that the interaction of classic BGX variety might be stronger, but also partially because Gilded Goose is like another good one to build off of. So in other words, you don't necessarily need your 8 virtual copies of Heartless Summoning if the copies 5 through 8 are very, very poor cards by modern standards. Gilded Goose is a much more powerful card by modern standards and allows you to play a different game. You know, you ramp just not as aggressively off of the Goose, and how many times did Goose just keep us in the game by just manufacturing and cracking food tokens? Pretty much clearly the reason we beat Prowess the second time, and it was pretty good here in the final round against Orzhov Smallpox as well. Gilded Goose was awesome. Grasping Dunes was really good, including a cameo throughout, but Grasping Dunes is not a playable card without this card, Ramanop Excavator. I think this was probably the MVP, if anything. Getrog had some real shining moments, too. And Tracker was pretty awesome as well. We didn't get to see the one of Vizier of the Menagerie at all. Oracle of Moldiah was okay in a couple spots, not great. Wayward Swordtooth, a high variance card, as far as I can tell. Sometimes it's the Tarmogoyf for the deck, and sometimes it's a 3-mana do-nothing. So, yeah, I mean, our interaction's shown, and we do anything super cool from the side. Acidic Slime against Tron was pretty cool, but didn't end up getting us there. Doomweight Giant against Lingering Souls. That was kind of epic, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, that was pretty epic. I've got something weird going on here where I can't highlight. What's going on every time I hover at highlights? There we go, there he is, Doomweight Giant with a sweet cameo. Yeah, that's about all there is to say. We saw some good sideboard action against Prowess, which helped us get over the line. And honestly, guys, this deck felt surprisingly good in the lobby, and it felt pretty good here. I know it's at least a little bit janky, right? It's at least a little bit janky, but it might be closer to, like, tier playable than many of us might think at first glance. Especially right now, where there's a lot of Bant decks going around, there's a lot of Jund going around, the meta is very grindy, and a lot of the decks that are not grindy are susceptible to the types of interaction Black and Green can bring to the table if you're well configured. I'm pretty happy with how we took the direction we took the deck, modifying the 5-0 list. I'm obviously no expert, this was my first draft, but I think it's a pretty reasonable place to begin if the prospect of Frogtown appeals to you. So, that'll do it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this. Another very long league, a successful Frogtown debut. I say debut like I'm going to play it again. Probably not, unless it's a donation league, not anytime soon anyway. I've got too many other things to play, right? But hey, this was fun. It's a fun change of pace, and it seems respectable. So thank you once again so much to Doll of Cootie, who earned this donation league and then magnanimously gave it away to the community. And I hope this was a great use of your donation league, my friend. I hope this is something that you are pumped up to see. And thank you again to John Westoff for being the first one to respond and for bringing us this the Giga Spice. Love to see it. And thank you to Johanna Lemos. If I got your name anywhere near correct, I'll be happy. Who is our very newest Patreon supporter at the tier list here. Very generous. So anyway, my friends, I won't say any more. I don't know anything more to say about this deck except that it's pretty cool. And let me know what you think. I probably didn't play optimally, especially when we were going over the top of decks. Like round 1 against Ad Nauseam, you could sequence a million different ways when we're going. Doesn't matter. You just take actions and get through it. And I knew the league would be long, right? I knew the league would be long. But anyway, you can point out any lines. You can point out any suggestions you have for this archetype. That's really what I would like to discuss. Where does this archetype go from here? How can we improve it? If anybody has any thoughts or any experiences, please do let us know. Stay tuned to the channel. I don't know what we're playing next. We've got an Abzan Siege Rhino donation league coming up. Maybe that'll be next, but maybe I also need to dip back over to Rock or Jund and play a more stock list before I play more slightly to majorly off-meta stuff for you. Mono Red Prowess is always something I want to play too, so we'll figure something out, and I hope to see you for the next video. Thank you again to all supporters and to all viewers. Please stay safe out there, and please don't go too stir-crazy if you are cooped up. Hope my content can play a small part in that, and I will see you for the next video. Hope everybody out there has a wonderful day.